Hey you! Do you like fast cars, gorgeous women, body augmentations, and becoming depressed? Then you want to play Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person action RPG made by CD Projekt Red, aka the same folks who made the fantasy dating sim game series called The Witcher, Yennefer's best girl. Here you play as a character named V, who apparently suffered a form of brain damage before the game because they can't remember the rest of the letters in their name. Deeply thrusted into the world of Night City, which is basically if Los Angeles got taken over by Amazon.com and a Slanesh cult. Here you will try to slowly peel away the layers of corruption that looms over the city from the corporate heads that rule over the masses, as well as get your head infected by Neo. Whoa. This video is going to be the first in a semi-regular series of videos revolving around games that are very popular, but for one reason or another, I just have never played them. Each game will then be broken down into things I liked, disliked, and really disliked. So, with the intro out of the way, let me regale you with a tale, because I have never played Cyberpunk 2077. There were quite a lot of pleasant surprises awaiting me when I booted up the game for the first time. After zoning out, listening to the kick-ass main menu theme for several minutes, I was presented with the frankly amazing character creator. And when I say you can customize everything, I mean everything. Nipple type or no nipples, cyberware, teeth color, big penis, big boobs. It is all here for you to mess around with to your heart's content. You can even combine both genders in order to make a character from Dragon Age Veilguard. What makes the customization even cooler is the fact that it ties into the lore, where prosthetic limbs and swapping out parts of yourself is no longer a medical miracle. Now it is as simple as ordering a new set of eyes, a leg, or even an entire face off of Cyber eBay. The actual gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077 was also quite fun. I will admit the gunplay took me a bit to get used to, since I was just coming off of the heels playing the new Summon of Responsibility, so I felt it a little floaty at first. Once I got used to it, however, I found myself having a very pleasant experience with it.
Oh, playtime's over!
Oh my god, I love this shotgun. What helped out with that even more is the variety of guns, ranging from shotguns, and no other gun type worthy of mentioning because shotguns. What's up? Every time they send people flying, it just makes me happy. There are a bunch of melee weapons available for those who enjoy the more stabby style of combat, but I am a Texan, so I want guns. Now, speaking of the cyber in Cyberpunk, you can fully trick yourself out with a bunch of random techno crap that you can jam into every piece of your body in order to become a living Samsung tablet. I've only just scratched the surface of the system and already I feel overwhelmed by it. Is this because it is an extremely in-depth mechanic that requires a lot of learning? Possibly. Is it because the inner workings of my mind can be most easily summed up by this picture of Patrick Star? Most definitely. The other cyber thingy that you can pull off in combat is the use of quick hacks. Hey there, this is the Gaming Cowboy from the future. Just wanted to give a note that I did not know about things like Sandevistan or Berserk, so that's why I'm not going to be mentioning them here. Mainly because I have the attention span of a fruit fly, apparently, and did not know to read the cyberware upgrade descriptions. So, oops. Anyway, back to the video. While these sound like something a 12-year-old whips out in a Call of Duty lobby because it makes him think he looks cool, quick hacks are actually easy access abilities that you can apply to targets or objects in order to give yourself an advantage. These range from short-circuiting or overheating an enemy's implants, temporarily blinding them so I can give them a buckshot burrito, to distracting them with a nearby object in order to give them a hug.
I love you.
Sweet dreams! Besides the gameplay itself, another nice thing in Cyberpunk is how much there is to unlock. You will notice as you level up in the game, the more actions you do in Los Angeles make you get higher street cred. Street cred is a secondary leveling system that allows you to unlock better and cooler looking cars and gear for you to adorn yourself with. You just fed this guy a lead lunch, then have some primo wheels to run around and run over people with. This is not even the mentioning the amount of guns, quick hacks, devices, special devices, and more just waiting for you to discover. These are just great aspects of the game, but there are still a few deets to mention that are just absolutely peak here. The best part of this game for me, and the main thing that just kept me coming back over and over again, is the world itself. Cyberpunk 2077 is an incredibly engrossing and fascinating world to get involved in, as well as an immensely depressing one. Night City is a beautiful painting of lavish corporate kings and queens pressing their gold-plated boots onto the heads of the lower masses. This is a world where the divide between classes has now become a full-on canyon, where there's not even really a middle class anymore. Corporations, or corpos as they are called in-game, are now powerful enough to afford their own armies and even declare full-scale war on each other. Think of it like if Amazon and Tesla went to war with each other, with Disney waiting in the back to seize power and eBay selling mercenaries to all sides. Life in Night City itself is like Las Vegas took steroids and LSD, then went on a massive caffeine binge. All of the vices in the world, drugs, sex, murder, greed, and playing League of Legends, are all amplified beyond 11 here. Everywhere you look, you see advertisements for every sort of activity and item you can think of, and even the city's skyline has adverts rising into the heavens. Even worse, I bet YouTube no longer will have a skip advertisement button in 2077. It is so overboard, in fact, especially the ads to do with something about flesh flapping, that it actually just becomes kind of funny. And some of these ads can be very, creative. It certainly helps that the game looks absolutely stunning everywhere you go. From staring at the neon skylight during the dark of night, the dimmed ambiance of a CD bar where your drink might come with a free stabbing, and finally the excellent character models. This is just pure eye candy. It is so easy to just get lost staring at the cityscape to the point where you cause a small accident that eventually leads to a massive police chase ending in your death. The crowds, traffic, airborne vehicles, trams, and even just the sounds just really bring Night City to life. I honestly recommend at some points just finding a nice spot, turning off the HUD, and just soaking up the vista. The other thing that kept me coming back was the story itself, as well as the characters you can encounter along the way. Just the side jobs you can do introduce you to some incredibly fun characters, my favorite so far being a 4chan user.
They hide their true faces under masks of human skin. Two-faced snakes, oppressors of humanity!
A reluctant tech priest, and my personal favorite, the one and only Flaming Crotch Man.
You even know how much it hurts? Like I'm screwing a goddamn pencil sharpener!
Always remember, folks, check to make sure your cyberschlong is from a reputable source instead of just wish.com. This spreads out to the different gangs you encounter throughout the city, with each having their own theme and territory. Some really prefer close combat and rush tactics, others like range, and all are just really fun to shoot in the face when the chance is given. This diversity is even expanded to how the gangs look and are presented. Just from the beginning we have Catholics, the CCP, OnlyFans, and the Adeptus Mechanicus. As for the story and main characters themselves, they are also a massive anchor to making the game as good as it is for me. People like Jackie Wells, Dexter Deshawn, and even V themselves just make the story feel so organic with every interaction they make. That is even before bringing in the gloriousness that is Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silverhand.
You're breathtaking!
Every time a point showed up where I could interact with them, a smile blossomed on my face. Okay, I will be getting into the spoiler stuff here, so skip to the time on screen if you still want to avoid spoilers. If you are still here, then let us continue. While I did say that this game does put a smile on my face, it also likes to remind you how bleak and dark the world is. The best way to show that was from the mission, The Heist. Before this mission, you have been having just a good old time, exploring the massive tutorial zone, doing a bunch of activities, and just getting used to how the game works. Side note, I could imagine that the main characters in any RPG I play really hate my guts. They are patiently waiting for me to show up and continue the story, possibly with world-changing and overarching effects.
Meanwhile...
All of this eventually builds up to The Heist, a mission that on the surface seems pretty simple. Go to this guy's penthouse and steal his 2TB Samsung 990 Pro SSD that may or may not contain John Wick. Everything goes off without a hitch until the heir of the Arasaka Corporation kills his father, Subaru Mitsubishi, your hacker friend gets zapped, you get the SSD jammed in your head to save it, your best friend bites the dust, and finally, you get shot in the face.
Dog, no blaze of glory for me.
But wait, it gets even worse. It goes even more south when it is revealed that the consciousness of the anti-corpo superstar Johnny Silverhand was on the SSD and is now slowly replacing yourself, which basically means that you are just slowly dying. So yeah, everything got really sad really quick. This is as far as I've gotten in the main story as of making this video, but it is fair to say that I am already hooked. Finally, this being a CD Projekt game, you can even get involved with the best activity of them all. I'm of course talking about the Wabam! There are many ways to get your rocks off in Night City, from actually pursuing a romance questline, negotiating with a corporate head using your flesh torpedo, as well as enjoying the Joy Toys, which is a fancy name for prostitute. Now, while enjoying sensual relations with a cybernetically enhanced prostitute may seem cool, I could see some potential problems.
Whoops. At least that can be replaced.
Honestly, there really is not a lot here for me to say. If I had to look anywhere, I would say there's really only two things that simply do not reach the heights that the other stuff in this game does. The first is the gunplay itself. It is fun, don't get me wrong, it just feels kind of janky and floaty. Still though, I found it enjoyable enough to try and find new ways to feed my enemies a Chicago breakfast. The one sore thumb that did stick out in this game, however, is the artificial intelligence. The enemy combat AI is okay at best, and at its worst, it's the equivalent of that kid who sat in the back of the classroom eating paste. Every time I got into a firefight, when they were at range, they were pretty decent, just taking cover and trying to suppress me whenever they could. But the moment I ran close quarters with them, it just went brain.exe not found and stood there waiting to swallow my long hard barrel. The boss AI is actually the only standout I have seen so far, where it actually becomes quite aggressive and really tries to push you out of cover and position. Honestly, really enjoyed these fights. The enemy AI is Einstein-level genius, however, when you compare it to the civilian AI. The civilians in this game are dumb.
Nope.
From walking into traffic, wandering into gunfights, spawning from nowhere, I just watched that person vanish, and more, the people of Night City seem to have the collective intelligence of a discarded shoelace. It gets even worse when they hop into a vehicle, causing massive traffic issues because the AI brakes, causing them to stop in the middle of the road. Or sometimes they just do this.
I think I can take it from here.
Honestly, some of the funniest moments in this game come from a civilian deciding to sniff glue and then do something ridiculous. What the hell? But I saw that. I did see that. Besides those things, all I can think of are just really stupid nitpicks. Like, the water doesn't look that great, and it seems the weather only changes on certain missions and doesn't really have an actual cycle. Even though I label these as dislikes, it still does not ruin the overall fantastic experience that is Cyberpunk 2077. I just get so absorbed in the world that I frankly just don't care. God damn it, oh my god, no! Get! I am so dead. I'm so dead. Yeah, just kill me. Just kill me. I don't even... Hang on. Let me look. Maybe, yeah, nope. I don't have anything to put here. Moving on. I really cannot stress enough about how much I am enjoying this game. The only reason I'm not saying enjoyed, aka the past tense, is simply because I have not finished the game yet. There is so much to do. I was even gifted it on Steam by one of my best friends, which makes this game even better for me. And since I know you will be watching this video, thank you again for the game. Before I played it, the only things I knew about Cyberpunk were its original arrival was on par with the Hindenburg, and I watched Edgerunners. Side note, if you have not watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners, do it. I'm not even a big anime guy, and it was one of the best things I have ever watched. Bring tissues. I also just realized that I have not yet brought up one of the best things about this game, and that is the soundtrack. Holy crap, it kicks ass. All the songs, from just listening to the radio while driving to the combat music, it just goes so hard. The only downside is I can't post all of it on here because a lot of it is copyrighted. Long story made short, if you were like me and never played this game before, I now cannot recommend it enough. This is simply one of the most fun, engrossing, sexy, and just plain awesome games I've ever played. And now I really want to play the DLC. So yeah, this game is some primo product, and you are truly just a straight up gonk if you are ignoring it. I hope I got that right. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this took a little longer to get out. I had a lot of stuff going on, especially with the holidays going on. But I really hope you enjoyed it. I tried a few new tricks with this, and hey, we'll see if this works out, then I'll keep doing it. Next video probably is gonna be, I don't know, might actually do it on the Transformers Cybertron games. I love those, and I recently just rewatched Transformers 1, so yeah, I want to do something about Transformers. I don't know. That's as far as I've gotten. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all just stay being awesome. Y'all have a good one. Bye.